Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Tech Me, where I'll be teaching tech. Today we'll be going through the Uplink status page of an MX and the different options. So yeah, let's go ahead. Hey guys, so this is the Uplink page of the Cisco Meraki dashboard. You get to here by going to Security and SD-WAN, Appliance Status, and then you get to the Uplink. Let's begin with the public IP. So that's currently my public IP address of my ISP router. So my ISP is currently Sky, as you can see, and we have that address. Below is my IP settings assigned to the Lambda branch MX. Here you'll see that there's an IPv4 and an IPv6 column. Here you'll have a dynamic IP address assigned to this Lambda branch MX. It's currently active. That is the actual IP address of the Lambda branch MX, so it's holding that IP address. There is my default gateway, which is the Sky router upstream. You also can configure, if you click on this pencil icon here, you can configure manual settings. So for example, you could totally disable the WAN config, and yeah, if you just didn't want to use it. You can have the connection type to be, let's say, a PPPoE. So then you can add authentication settings provided by your ISP. Also, you could set your manual IPv4 config settings. So you'll have a static IP if you were given one by your ISP. You put in their subnet mask, the gateway IP address, and as well, as you can see, it's got some recommended DNS servers, but you could pop in your own. And essentially you could also do the same thing with the IPv6 config if you had static settings, and then you'd click update and that would be it. Here is another interesting part. You can add another WAN port to this MX67, and this is limited per MX models. So here currently I have I have port 2 here. This is currently a LAN port. This is my only WAN port internet port. So essentially, if I click on Uplink and then go back to add another WAN port and I click convert, what will happen is, as you can see, it's got WAN 2. So then now I can use this port as connected to another ISP. Why would you want to do that? I think it's mainly to do if this one fails, this WAN 1, you would want it to fail over to WAN 2. Or you can have it for load balancing, so you could use both the WAN 1 and the WAN 2 if you wanted to. But yeah, I'm not going to convert it. I'm not going to keep it like that at the moment. So I'm going to convert the WAN port back to the LAN because my switch is connected on that. So I've converted it back. If we scroll down, this is live data, and it's pretty good for using if you're troubleshooting. You'll have uplink traffic and total and download. So total is like upload and download, and this is specifically just download. And again, like you could click here and you could pause it if you wanted to, because this is actually running live, so we'll update live with you. As you can see, there's not a lot of data going through this MX. Historical device data, it shows for the last 2 hours, and what this is, it's for troubleshooting, and again, mainly it's very useful. So at the moment, what it's doing is this MX is currently pinging 8.8.8.8 continuously. It's sending ICMP requests out there towards 8.8.8.8, and 8.8.8.8 is getting back to us. Now the latency here, you could see it's showing the latency over the past 2 hours. If I wanted to change it to the last day, the last week, the last month, I have that option. And you can see there's a little bit of loss. So let's say, hey, like you wanted to figure out what type of loss you're experiencing. Sometimes you would get about, let's say, 50% loss, and that would be pretty bad. At the moment it's okay. It just seems little blips here, but yeah, it's not too bad. Here, if you had another WAN, at the moment it's only got one WAN connected. If you had WAN 2 as well, so it will show WAN 2 in a different color, probably in a lighter shade blue. Here you have connectivity too, and what this does is it shows you other IP addresses that are put in there. If you have 1.1.1, for example, you can see I've recently just added that in, and that shows what type of performance we're getting, and it's currently pinging 1.1.1.1 live, and as well 192.168.0.1. Where you add more IP addresses is if you go into security and SD-WAN, and you go to SD-WAN and traffic shaping, and on here you'll have a thing called Uplink statistics. And here I can see that I've got 1.1.1.1 and I've got 192.168.0.1, which is my default gateway. Sometimes it might be good to use this. Let's say if you're having VPN drops, for example, and you want to add the public IP address of that VPN endpoint. So if we had another VPN, let's say 50.50.50.50, we could pop it in there. And if your VPN is always going down, you can have basically this address in there to see if that link is dropping. It's a good way to determine whether you're having issues just lost towards that direction or latency. So I could click that, I could click save. It won't show up like straight away. So I mean, if I refresh, it might take ages. It takes ages. Yeah, so here it won't show up straight away. It will take some time, but it is currently doing it, and there's a good way to tell if we're actually sending those ICMP requests, and I'll give this as a bonus. So if you go into network wide and packet capture, and we will cover packet capture in a bit more detail, but we're going to click for here packet capture for security appliance. Here we have my Lambda branch MX selected, and we have the interface, which is going to be the internet interface. We're going to do it for 60 seconds and put no expressions. We're just going to download it simply. Once that's downloaded, I'll open it up and let's take a look at the capture in Wireshark. Hey guys, so here we have the capture itself. It is on the Lambda branch MX and on the internet interface. So you'll have a lot of information into here, as we just took probably a 40-second capture on the internet interface. But what we're going to do is we're just going to filter out 1.1.1.1 pings, for example, just to see how it works. So if we type in ip.addr equals 1.1.1.1, we'll just see that, okay, we're the MX 192.168.0.62 is sending a ping request to 1.1.1.1. And 1.1.1.1, as you could see with these two arrows, it's getting back to us and so on. We could also do, if we wanted to go in a bit more detail, we could just put in the protocol, but it's not needed at the moment because it's not a lot of traffic going to 1.1.1.1. If we wanted to test out, let's say 192.168.0.1, which is my default gateway, as again, you could see the same thing. We're sending traffic 192.168.0.62 to 192.168.0.1. I think we could try an attempt to do 50.50.50.50, which is the one we added. And here we go. Here's a good example of a ICMP request and the site being down. So we're sending, as you can see here, 192.168.0.62. The MX is sending traffic to 50.50.50.50, and we're just sending requests. There's nothing coming back. We're just sending requests. This would mean, I mean, in this case, 50.50.50.50 probably doesn't exist at this moment in time. If this was a real case scenario, you would have this service being down. You would consider it being not working. As you can see, no response found, and it's not working. And maybe if we go back to my MX and we go into the connectivity, let's refresh this page. And let's just see if we get 50.50.50.50 showing we do, but it's not very many statistics. You see that line there? It's got 100% loss. That would be an indication of, yeah, something being down. So again, that could be good for troubleshooting purposes. I guess this is the uplink page. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope this helped.